Okay, so welcome everybody to TGTT. We are here again. We are with the whole crew today. So let's go ahead and say everybody here in case you forgot. So we have Suede. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Suede. It's my birthday today.
Oh my gosh, stop. No, you're not Suede. It's my birthday. Okay, so we have Suede. What's your name?
Oh, Daniela.
Carol, hello.
Jamil, Arisha,
Adeluz,
Melanie,
And Amy.
Okay, so we're all here, the TGTT team, and today we're going to talk about something that's kind of more relevant in recent media. We're talking about marriage because, as we all know, Millie Bobby Brown just got engaged and she's only 19.
Wait, but what happened?
Oh my gosh.
Suede is like a news reporter right now.
So Millie Bobby Brown is married at the age of 19, which some people... engaged, sorry. She's engaged at 19, which some people think is way too young. So what do you guys think? Do you think that she's too young to get engaged?
I think she's rich as hell, so you got money, you
I
can
mean,
do
honestly,
whatever you want, so.
I agree because everyone's situation is different, but because of the situation she's in, she wouldn't be really affected much if not financially or socially if her marriage was to end because, she has so much money and so much public attention that it's
yeah, but girl, live a little, go out, party,
but that's the thing.
whatever.
She's disengaged. She's not married.
even for celebrities it's different because you're thinking, oh, let's just go out, enjoy your life, whatever, but even as a celebrity she has so many eyes on her, she can't really do that anyway right now. She can't do stupid teenage things because she has the whole world looking at her and she has a reputation to upkeep.
I mean,
this
you
could
guys...
also be something to get her back into the public and stuff as to
But she's been in the public a lot though, because she has a
Enola
makeup
Holmes.
brand.
Yeah, and she Enola
She has-
Holmes.
But think about
Stranger
what
Things.
Daniela was saying about live a little. She was on this interview and she was I ship what was it, some characters from Stranger Things, and she ended up saying dyke, and everybody was Millie Bobby Brown is homophobic and all that just because she said that.
Oh, that's a running joke, though. That's a full running joke.
Oh yeah, I'm gay, guys, so I can say that.
Oh God.
Um,
But I don't know. I feel it's kind of young though. She's starting.
It is. And
I
how
feel
long
it's
have
also,
they-
though, it's also, her own thing. Everybody has their own life. If she thinks she's ready, then she should go for it. But personally, I wouldn't do that because that's really young age. I mean, my brother, he got married at that age. And he had his first divorce. It was, really,
Exactly, and that's the thing. My stepsister, she got married at 23, and they lived it looked super happily. Once she got married, boom, divorce.
Yeah.
the thing is, my mom also got married when she was 19. She was a month away from 20. And my parents are they're 20 years of marriage, and they're perfectly happy. So I think it all depends on the person first of all, and the type of relationship you have with that person.
And the money, I mean, being married is I'm sorry, but for me, money is the most important thing.
But when you get married financially, things do change. So it's sometimes that can put stress on your relationship. But how long do you guys think you need to be with someone before you decide you want to marry them?
10
oh,
years.
years.
Sure. 10 years.
Definitely not-
And
definitely not,
live together in the process.
4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5. I definitely don't think it takes that long.
days, days.
No, because I'm not listening.
I mean,
For the
if I was to get married.
for the gay girls, because there's this
6
running,
months.
there's this running joke about lesbians moving in, U-Haul lesbians, they move in after a week.
U-Haul lesbians?
Yeah, so there's this running, there's this joke about lesbians moving in really quickly and getting married right away and stuff. So
It's so funny
I mean,
because you're
I
wearing
feel
a
like it
Mr. and Mrs. hat right now.
Oh. Yeah, I went to a wedding, guys. I went to a
A
wedding.
wedding on Saturday, right?
This is what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't think it takes 10 years, but it takes years, and you have to be cohabiting before you get
Oh
married.
yeah, no,
So-
because when you move in with somebody, everything changes.
Everything changes.
I don't think there has to be like a specific time frame. I just feel like if you guys are ready, then you're ready, you know. And like you guys said, like living, you know, you need to know how they live and how like they work in like an environment like that.
You have to dress your own document
What-
when it
What do you guys think?
Okay, what do you guys think makes somebody ready for marriage?
Oh, I wasn't gonna
Commitment.
ask that. But oh shoot, that's what I feel like. You know, like once the person farts and you're like, oh, that's so cute. You know, like once the person
when you
does something
can when you can
gross.
coexist, because if you can't coexist, like sometimes when let's say you're having a sleepover with a friend and you get sick of them by the end of the day, and you wouldn't get sick of them if you weren't with them so long. If you don't get sick of that person and you can coexist with
Think-
them for a longer time,
I think it's also having like good like problem resolution
Yeah.
skills, because like it doesn't matter if you have a lot of problems or if you don't have any problems at all. Like if you can't solve problems the moment that one comes your way, like that's it, it's over. But even if you have a lot of problems with that person, but you always resolve them in a healthy way, I feel like that really proves that you can last for a long time and that you know you're ready for
What do you guys
marriage.
think about arranged marriage?
that's not good.
Cause
I-
listen, I know a lot of people say like, oh no, I would never do that. But like, I trust my mom, and like she knows
I
my
don't.
type. She knows I like girls, so she knows my type. She knows what type of girl I like and stuff. So like, I trust her. I trust her. Like, I wouldn't mind her arranging my.
I actually I saw this TikTok the other day that said, would you rather like kiss your third at or like marry whoever your parents choose? But it's like my parents wouldn't choose anybody that I didn't like.
Exactly. They would choose somebody that you really like. What were you saying?
No, my
Jamila's
parents would
raising
choose
her
somebody
hand.
who's like,
Yeah.
Okay, so like I've seen some people, they're saying that they like arranged marriages because sometimes they don't feel like finding somebody, and they trust their parents to find somebody, and like it eliminates a lot of stress because people, they want to get married, but like they don't know who to find and how to find them, so like
And
That's why they-
that's also like an important thing to a lot of people in different cultures. But it also like if you want to do that, if you want to let your parents pick who you marry, that's completely fine. That's your life. But it gets to a point where like some people get forced into marriages that they don't want to be in, and that's especially like minors, like young girls will sometimes get arranged to marry like old men, and they are forced to, and they lose their childhood being this old man's wife, and it's like that's where it becomes abusive.
Yeah, I feel like forced and arranged are
very
two
different
very,
things.
Very different things, yeah.
And I think when people think of arranged marriages, they think, oh, it's a forced marriage.
They
But
always say
that's
no.
not what that means. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arranged marriages, you have the opportunity to obviously like say no and say, oh, I don't want to marry this person. A forced marriage, you don't have the power to do that.
Yeah.
it's like a blind date, but like an extra
Exactly.
step.
And a blind date.
A blind date and your parents chose them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like. It's not that I don't trust my parents, because I do. I would like to find that part on my own instead, because I feel like that's something, you know.
I definitely wouldn't trust my parents doing that because they're just gonna pick the smartest person or like the most financially stable person,
Yeah.
or like a douche.
Okay, not to say like Hispanics are kind of racist. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. So my mom
Yeah.
just be like, si es un blanquito, okay.
Yeah,
Está bien.
no, like they either have to be like Cuban or they have to be Hispanic or
I mean,
or
Daniela,
white.
you chose correctly because white boy Joseph be real white.
Oh yeah.
You guys, I have kind of a crazy question. So if you have a partner right now, how many of us do?
Oh,
That's
we're
four of
one,
us,
two,
right?
four of us.
Four of us.
Yes.
So
No,
if you
I want to clarify who it is. It's
Yeah,
Amy.
so it's,
No. Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's
yeah,
Amy,
okay.
Mariluz, Melanie, and Daniela.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who raised
my
their
bad.
hands.
That's
Yeah.
saying names.
um,
Everybody else.
okay, kind of a crazy question. If you were together with your current partner for like many more years from now, would you marry them?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, what'd you say?
I love how we all like agree on that. I said,
Would you?
would you marry your current partner if you were?
Yeah.
We all
absolutely.
agree. Oh my gosh.
Why do you? Okay, tell me why do you guys say yes?
Because he laughed at my fart jokes. He's so for real.
Yeah, like I can joke around. I like to joke around a lot, and he's not like disgusted by me. There's not like I can do something weird and he won't be like, ew.
It's also just like I can't picture myself with anybody else in the future.
I can't picture him with anybody else. I'm not crazy.
I want to really like break up and like we all break up. We're gonna be like, yeah. So anyway, so
We'll just marry each other at that
Anyways,
point.
guys.
Literally, let's just all marry each other.
For real.
No, I actually really love my man.
Guys, no, please.
But like, it's
Guys,
like
no.
yeah, I can't really picture myself with anybody else, and it's like, you just know when it's like, oh yeah, that's my person, you know?
Yeah.
You just feel it. And like, a lot of the time, you'll think that you were in love before, but then when you actually find it, you're like, I did not know what that was.
Right.
But also,
Right.
y'all are saying this as like I'm a sophomore, you guys are juniors. Like,
I'm a
Yeah.
sophomore too, so
Listen, I'm not saying I'm getting married anytime soon.
definitely
but
not. But
Just saying, if you were, this is the person you would get married to.
If we were together for like another 5 years or so,
Yeah.
But I mean,
Which
guys,
hopefully
time frame
me and
doesn't
him will.
matter.
guys, you
It's
guys
more of
are
like-
dating them right now. Like, it would be weird if you guys said no. Like,
No.
I mean, not
No,
really,
not really.
because like if you just started dating this person, you would be like, I don't know, you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
or like some people just don't want to get married, or maybe the person they're
Actually, have you guys even had that
Yeah.
conversation with him? Because I had a conversation with my boyfriend, and he was
me
like,
too.
and he told me like, this is gonna sound a little weird. He would get married. He told me that he would. He just said that he doesn't like think it's the soul binding thing. He's like,
No, of
no, I
course.
think love is
course
more
not.
important than that. And I was
Yeah, it's
Love
just
is
nice to
fine.
like.
So,
raising her hand.
My hands down.
oh, okay. Well,
okay.
we were talking about like, do all of us want to get married? And if so, why? Why not? What do we think?
We should go in a circle. We should go in a
Let's go in
circle.
a
Let everybody.
So I'll start, I guess. So I really want to get married because partially that's because of my religion, and like we believe marriage is like one of the very like important things that you do in life. Also, I want to like be able to have that life and like have kids and like have that kind of stability. You know?
Just looking at you.
Do you want to?
Okay, I would like to get married. It'll be sick. I don't care if I have a big wedding or a long wedding. I just want to see if my husband better be crying. I don't care. You better have tears on your face. I don't care if you have to like look at someone like be like you know. I don't care. You have to be crying.
sorry.
And it's like
It's okay.
also like I don't know like but it's not super important. But I would like to be like yeah I'm his wife yeah yeah. Yeah, we're close like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's my man officially.
Yeah, that's my.
crazy.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. I feel like I'm very, how do you say that, flexible with that. Like, I feel like it depends on the person I'm with more than on me. So like, if the person that I'm with like really wants to get married, I feel like that would be cute. But like, if not, then like I don't really mind. Like, it's just like whatever. I feel like it's more like a bond thing. I was dating someone and they were like, they told me they were like, I would want to get married without actual papers. Like, we can do the whole wedding thing, but without actual papers. So, like, to court and stuff like that, we wouldn't be married. But, like, us, we would be married. And I feel like that was, I don't know, I really like that idea. This is, like, it's a you and I thing, right? And like, not that I'm saying we're going to get divorced, but if we do, then we don't have to do the whole paper thing. And, like, you know, like, you get the house and it's just too much. But I mean, yeah, it's a nice symbol thing, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
like,
doing it,
then-
but also not like
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
want to
get
talk
married.
about the divorce thing
thing,
later.
but-
After we go around the circle, say like if you want to or
Jamil.
not, let's jump back to
Jamil
that.
with your
But
800
otherwise,
kids, but
Jamil, it's your turn.
Okay, say the question so I can answer it properly.
Okay. Would you want to get married? If so, why? If not, why?
Okay, so I would love to get married. Like, ever since I was young, I've always wanted to have a wedding for some reason. But, like, now, ever since I got older, I started wanting less to have a wedding. Because, like, I don't know, I just feel iffy on getting, like, attention. Like, having the whole attention on me. Like, that's so, I don't know what's going on mentally, but, like, I still want to have a wedding. But, like, a very small wedding. And, like, I just feel like, since I'm, like, kind of, I wouldn't say I'm that conservative, but, like, certain things for a wedding it needs to happen when a wedding happens. So like I want a wedding, mainly for whoever I'm with, if that makes sense. Even though I'm like really incoherent in what I'm saying right now. Like I don't know what, like I think I did like write this down. Like I'm really not good at speaking.
Okay,
like,
so basically you're saying that you do want a wedding, but you don't want it to be like a big thing, but you still want to get married to your partner.
basically, yeah.
Okay.
With our 800 kids.
And like,
I should have just said that.
and
but-
like I agree, because like the other day on Instagram I saw this couple talking about their wedding. They said they had like 150 guests, and I'm like, first of all, how do you know that many people? You must have like strangers watching you get married. I'm like
friends, cousins.
yeah,
So plus 30.
listen, and that's expensive. Listen, if I was doing a wedding, it would be like close friends and family, not.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to the
Rachel, let's
circle.
hear you.
I feel like it'd be nice to get married. Okay. I feel like it'd be nice to get married because like you would want that person to be with you through thick and thin. I'd want someone to have like to be there for me and stuff like that, like through everything. But the thing is, with like the way the place I'm at mentally and stuff like that, I don't think I am in the right place to think about marriage because I need to think about the present right now. So I feel like you just need to be like mentally stable and like prepared to be married, you know, in order to actually get married.
Also, Arisha, I wanted to ask, because I know me and you are both kind of like different religions, so I want to get married like because of like the things that I do within my church. Is that
My
kind of the
religion
same
is
for you?
also like really heavy about marriage as well. So I wanted to say something about like when we were talking about the arranged marriage. My culture, not my religion, but my culture is very heavy about arranged marriages. But they're like, oh, once a girl hits puberty and stuff, like she's ready to get married and stuff like that. But honestly, I'd say it depends. Like the person has to be talking, you know, in order to like get to know that person instead of completely being forced. And like you guys said, forced and arranged is two different things. But yeah, my religion is heavy on marriage, and that's why my parents also tell me to get married. But I said this in the first episode, but but the introduction. But I'm a Muslim, so we're like, oh, it's a good thing to get married, you know, and like have kids and this and that. But I'd say not to get forced and like once you're ready, you know. But I would like to get married, but right now where I'm at, not right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Ready.
Sure. What's the question?
Would you get married?
I would get married. Mostly because to me, I feel like marriage is a way of showing, oh, I'm committed to you, I'm committing to that. I know like not everybody sees it like that. Like obviously you don't have to get married to show that, but like I said, like it's just something that, you know, me and my family believe like marriage is something, it's a bond. You know, it takes that level to like a whole new aspect of your relationship. And it's like, okay, we're committed, you know. Also, you know, I'm walking around, show off my wedding ring. So
Sometimes the title is like, just be like, oh, that's my husband, that's my wife.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
I dream of that. I'm like, imagine someone introduces you like, yeah, this is my wife. That, oh my goodness.
Or like getting to say, I'm Mrs. You know.
But that's like not only for marriage, that's for everything. Because I want to get like a PhD and whatever, not like do the work, but I just want people to be like, oh, that's Dr. Rawasa. Like, damn.
Dr.
okay.
Diaz,
Yeah,
guys.
like,
I
when I
have
become
such
an
faith for that. Dr. Diaz is, listen.
yeah, I just feel like that's, to me, that's important. And it just shows like another aspect of, you know, how much you're committed, you know?
Yeah.
And it'd just be nice to be introduced as, oh yeah, that's my wife. Oh yeah, when my husband gets here, he can fix it for you, you know?
I want to get married. Also kind of because of religion. I mean, I'm Christian, but my views aren't very like orthodox. I take everything a lot more loosely when it comes to like ideas and scripture and stuff like that, because I like I've had to reconstruct a lot of like toxic ideas about purity and all of that. So I like to think of it as like, yeah, I know I want to be together forever with this person, and I'm just gonna like, you know, try my best to make that happen. And I'm not gonna like force myself to get married just because like, oh, religion, you know. It's because God put somebody in my life that's like good enough for for me, and I want to marry them. And also just because I love weddings. I have a whole like dream wedding Pinterest board. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, really?
Actually, I have a Pinterest board with like all my dream wedding dress, my dream like wedding rings, my dream like the decorations, all of that. I even have like a section on there for like proposal ideas
Oh
because
my
like
God.
I'm crazy.
Just in case you
Okay.
need any ideas.
You know, just in case anyone wants to go on there and see how to propose to me.
Guys, when you guys get married, please invite me. I will get drunk and make your party fun.
Girl, we will make it fun, sis. We will get like shots.
I don't want a big wedding though. That's
Not a
Like, it
big
should be, like,
wedding, but like
personal,
pretty.
you know?
It's just a lot of stress because it's not only like you don't think about, oh, I'm marrying this person that I love now. Now you think, oh wait, I have to attend all these guests. I have to make sure the sheets
Yeah.
are folded. I have to
and
put-
it's exactly isn't your wedding? You're supposed to be like happy, and then plus, if you don't spend as much money on your wedding, you can spend it more on your honeymoon and stuff.
Exactly. Or your house.
Yeah, I mean,
or car.
I like the idea of a small wedding, but I still want to make it like special and pretty. Like I don't like those marriages that are just like little courthouse weddings. Like that's really.
We're getting a little bit off topic, so Amy, do you want to go ahead and say if you want to get
Yeah,
married?
sure. So I agree with Maddie about it's a bond, because, I mean, I'm not super big about marriage. I think that marriage is, whenever I'm ready to make that big bond, it's not like a thing that's like, oh, I really fantasize about having it. I'm just gonna do it as a next level type of thing. Like we're this in love, then we can have that commitment. And about a big wedding, I'm a theater kid, and I want a big wedding, and I want everybody to be looking at me. I want strangers to be there and be like, "Oh my God, she looks so
Exactly. I
good."
just want everybody to be there and be like, "You
wanna
are
marry her.
gorgeous." I am
Opinion
gorgeous.
though. Like big princess ballgum or like simple.
I always love those. Always love those.
I want a
It
princess
depends,
ballgown.
because I want my wedding dress to be Vivienne Westwood wedding dress.
Listen, guys. My ex-girlfriend was like, I want to get married in a black dress, and I was like, what? Like that's so amazing. Like that's so hot. Like oh my God. Like yes.
Because that's
Like a black dress, like, and I was like, her, and like I honestly like, as long as whatever that person is wearing fits them, like that, I look at them and it's like that's that person. I will gladly get married.
Oh, I have a question. Do you guys want kids at your wedding? Because that's a big thing.
Hell no, sis. I was almost screaming gremlins.
Would you have kids at your wedding?
Bro, they're so weird, bro. Like kids are.
Or would you
so
put an
nasty.
age limit on how old they can be?
Well, the thing is, the thing is, I'm not like drinking or anything at my wedding, so there's not like something where it's like, oh, I don't want them to be around any kind of environment. But the thing is, like, once again, kids are hard. They're a lot to deal
Yeah,
with.
they're disruptive.
But I have been like at many weddings, and I was like 10, and I had like the best time of my life. Because I thought it was so fun. So there's that, but then also I have my brothers who were also at the same wedding, and they were crazy. So it just kind of depends on like I would say like I would put like an age limit at like 12 or something, and then if somebody's like, oh, can I bring this kid, I can say, oh, yes or no.
But also, how do you tell the parents? You're like, you can't bring your kids, but
I mean,
you're
a lot
invited.
of
They will understand.
a lot of weddings are like that. Like they're like, okay, no kids unless you talk to me and we work something out. You know?
I love how Sweetie was the one that was like, oh, I don't want them to be like in that, like, it's not that in the environment. Like, what if it's wrong for them? And I'm like, nah, they're not gonna ruin my wedding, sis. They're gonna be screaming around like.
Yeah, because I mean, I want my wedding to have a
'Cause,
dope
dude,
ass
Yeah,
after
that's
party.
why, you know, like reception, then you just hear wah, wah, no thanks.
Yeah, like, well,
no,
you know,
absolutely not.
The kid is gonna be the flower girl. The kid is gonna be the flower girl.
Is for the wedding, sometimes they do a Mr. and Mrs. thing. So it's just an invitation to the couple, or like a Mrs. and Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. You know, like whoever's like together, Mr. and Mr. But a lot of people just don't have kids. But at the same time, if you have like a whole like 10,000, like 10 newborns in there, like, they're gonna be screaming and crying.
Yeah,
and
they're gonna start in the middle of your.
That's gonna ruin the whole vibe. That's gonna ruin the whole vibe. So.
I know we've been like talking about wedding and stuff, and I love this topic, but I want to get back to what Carol was saying earlier about like how she didn't want like a court wedding because like divorce and things. And I was looking at this thing the other day. It's like divorce in Americans is like higher than it's ever been.
Really?
So it's, yeah, it's like ever been like that.
Last year,
But also,
last year in my psychology class, we said that like divorce rates were going down.
but if
I
you
don't
think
know.
about it, it's also because like back then at least, you know, like 19, 15, 19, whatever, people would just stay with their man because they had to. It wasn't. There was a
Yeah.
big stigma around it.
Like,
Right now,
and
there's not
It's
that
a bad
much.
thing. Divorce, like they would view divorce as a really bad thing.
And at some point, women couldn't even get divorced without the man consenting to it.
no, and of course, in like at a time period where women kind of didn't mean anything without a man beside them, you know, you really have no other choice, no other life to turn to if you get divorced.
We've also, you know, there's a stigma around it because there's an expectation for women that you have to have kids at this age, you have to be married at this age, and it's not that we have evolved from it, because we still haven't really evolved from it. There's so many divorce rates. A lot of women are getting married because they have that expectation. Their parents are like, oh, when are you getting married? Oh, you have a boyfriend right now, you should get married.
Exactly. Oh, when you're having kids, you know, when am I gonna be a grandma? You know?
Exactly. That's the expectation.
Yeah, like going to your house, like, oh, meeting my boyfriend's parents for the first time and whatever, and they're already like, oh, so when's the wedding? You're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I meant to say it yesterday, bro.
I think that's a big. I was talking to one of my teachers the other day, and I was asking her like her views on marriage, like for this episode. And she was talking about how first she doesn't think marriage is good for everyone, and a lot of people like they don't want to get married because of that expectation. It's like, oh, the moment you like when you get a girlfriend, oh, when are you gonna get married? The moment you get married, when are you gonna have kids? Like things like that, where it's just over and over and over again. There's always this expectation.
On that topic, I have a question. Would you guys, if you got married, would you sign a prenup?
Can you explain what that is?
Basically, a prenup, it just decides, like, if you get divorced, who keeps what, like, who leaves the marriage with, like, what, you know?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being prepared, I think.
Okay, so a prenup is an agreement made by a couple before they marry concerning the ownership of their respective assets should the marriage fail. And some people, this is kind of controversial because some people are like, oh, why would you marry me if you're just going to prepare for us to get divorced, you know? But
No, but I think it's good to even when I first got with my boyfriend, I was like, yo, if we break up, it's aight, bro. Like, don't worry, like, chill out. But because it's like, you never know what happened.
Yeah, like, I agree to that. Like,
you never know, like, no matter how much you love someone, something can end up happening.
I was gonna say that earlier. Even with like the idea of marriage and what you want to do and stuff, like you can change your mind. You know, like we change as people, and like I'm pretty sure I didn't think the same way as I did. You know, like 3 years ago.
Right.
So, I mean, you can change your idea, and I feel like, especially when it's with someone else, you know, they change their mind, you change your mind, and then suddenly you're in two completely different places. So, you know, it's very important, and I feel like that's really good. As long as they both take it correctly, because I feel like there could be some people that are like, oh, yeah, whatever, you can get the house, right? But then like some days later they're like, oh, because you want the house, right? Or like they bring it up in arguments and
Yeah,
stuff like
they'll
that.
use it against you, like whatever you were left
I
with.
feel like you should know your partner. You should know if they're gonna do
They
that
can
or
switch
not.
up on you real quick.
I mean, they could,
But some people are really good manipulators and gaslighters and shit. Like there's some people that you just can't see it coming, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like somebody I know got married to this person that was like the love of their life, and then 2 years later they get divorced, and he's like, yeah, I don't even recognize the person they are anymore. They are not the person that I met all those years ago.
Speaking of divorce, I know a few of us are from divorced like households. So who is from a divorced household, and like, do you think that affects your view on marriage and divorce?
Yeah. Okay. So I have I have divorced parents that are with divorced parents. So like, yeah. So I think honestly, divorce changed my life for the better, which is controversial. But my parents are actually on better terms now than when they were together, which is kind of crazy, bro. Like they hated each other when they were married. I was like, why did y'all get married? And they were like, because we get to have you. Like, what, bro? What? Anyways.
Literally, that's always the answer they give me. Like, oh, because we had you. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I was like, oh, okay. But like I honestly, I don't view divorce as such a bad thing. Like, I feel like if you really think that you guys are not meant to be, and then later on, like, think that y'all can be, like, together and be friendly again, and whatever, like I think it'll be cool. Like divorce doesn't have to be such a bad thing necessarily.
Yeah. What, do you want to say something? Go ahead. Okay, well, personally, I feel like at first things were better between my parents when they got divorced. Like, it was hard to accept because to me, like, my parents were like the epitome of love. Like, that was the definition of love for me. They taught me what love was. So when they split up, it was like my whole world came crashing down. And it was fine for many years up until, now there's like some problems because, they live far apart and like it's very hard to like parent the same kids. You're sharing kids and you're two very different people, and so they end up, having a lot of disagreements, and sometimes like it falls on the kid, especially on me. Sometimes I feel like I have to be the mediator between my parents or like be the messenger because they won't talk to each other, and so that's difficult. I think divorce is a lot more serious when you have kids.
Yeah, and it gives like such a toll on the kids themselves because they didn't do anything, and like they had to deal with that trauma growing up.
And like a lot of us blame ourselves for it too.
They do, and then growing up, like you have this fear, like of getting into other relationships too. You have so much fear getting into other relationships that it's like that trauma from when your parents broke up.
For me, I was scared. A few years back, I would not have said yes for sure that I wanted to get married because just like my parents' divorce, kind of like they were together for 18 years and they got divorced. So I felt like after that, I kind of didn't believe in love anymore. Like I didn't believe that it could last. And nowadays, I'm finding more hope. After meeting certain people.
Also, I feel like I'm expecting, like when people say, oh, are your parents divorced, I'm just already expecting a yes, like I'm so used to it that I feel like if I get divorced, I'll just be like, oh well, that happened. Anyways, next.
My parents, they split up before I was even born, so my mom, the first few years of my life, I never really saw my dad or anything. So I never had to really experience them together, but I know that even with them now, they're always constantly fighting or doing something with each other. So it's I know that they're just not meant to be together. Maybe for a time, yeah, but everything's a learning experience. So they were just super toxic with each other, and I know that they weren't meant to be. And whenever I see them together, in public places, the ring or not,
wasn't your birthday?
My birthday, yeah, thank you. My birthday party, when they were together, they were so you could feel their energy towards each other, and it was not pretty, in just any situations and stuff. And then the way that Melanie was saying, you kind of have to be the mediator between them, and that's how I always feel whenever I'm with them, or trying to arrange my schedule. It's oh, okay, I'm at my mom's house today, and living in two separate houses is also really hard, because it's a lot of stress. This past weekend, my parents had switched weekends, and all of my stuff was at my mom's house, so I literally could not do anything over at my dad's house. And I was just working with what I had, homework and stuff, because all of my books were at my mom's. So it's stressful in that aspect, because you have all of your stuff, it's just scattered, and I don't like being scattered like that. I like having everything. So my book bag, my school bag is filled with all my necessities, not just my schoolwork, but also my home necessities, because I travel between both houses. That's also, I feel like I'm camping 24/7.
And to finish up, right? To finish up, I just wanted to say, there's a difference. I feel like there's always pros and cons to everything, but as someone that was growing up in a household that I feel like they should have gotten divorced. It's it's hard on both sides, because they get divorced and the kid gets a lot, but also if they don't divorce and they stay together, that's also really hard.
Exactly. It can even become an abusive situation at one point, if it doesn't end.
So there's pros and cons for everything, but yeah, I feel like I feel like at the end of the day.
I want to go back on
Oh,
what Carol
go
said right
ahead,
now.
go ahead.
Actually, it like literally went wrong. My parents aren't divorced, but I feel like sometimes they should be divorced because it gets really toxic and stuff. So I feel like divorce can be a good thing. It depends on the situation. If you can't handle being with that person anymore, then just call it off instead of making it even bigger of a problem.
Yeah, same thing. Like my dad is with my stepmom, but I feel like they should get divorced too. Like that's
That's one.
I mean, yeah, guys.
Yeah,
Everybody
no.
has a different opinion. Every relationship, everything just has a different.
all about. All different
Yeah.
opinions, different experiences.
And I feel like it's nice that we all share, common things because, it's also nice to feel understood. But yeah, it's different for all of us, and everything is valid, All of us are valid. You guys are valid.
Well, I guess that concludes the
Thank you
episode.
for watching our marriage episode.
Watching,
Marriage and
listening.
Divorce, listening to our episode.
Yeah.
So now, thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week for a new episode. Bye, guys.
TTG to the TT. Teen Girls Table Talk.
Woo!
All right, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh wow.